Hello, Play the Game family. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
This episode is brought to you by our absolute favorite guy when it comes to taxes, David Roque. David is an accountant and paintball player from South Florida. He did all of our PTG and personal taxes last year, and I gotta say, David is the man. He's been filing personal and corporate taxes for 7 years, has clients all around the United States, so it doesn't matter where you're at, he will figure out the best way to maximize your personal or corporate returns. He's really attentive, really easy to get a hold of, and amazing to work with. His goal is to help provide the paintball community with an affordable accountant that can help you better maximize your personal and corporate returns. Just mention you play paintball or listen to the podcast, and he will hook you up with a nice deal to get your taxes done for under $175, which if you compare that to like H&R Block and all the other big services, that's pretty damn good. And again, he's a paintball player. We love supporting the paintball community. The community has really showed up and showed out. So we like to do the same. And like I said, David has made our experience with tax season really seamless, really effortless, and everything is done very efficiently. So if you guys need any tax help, do not hesitate. Make sure to hit up David Roque either via his Instagram, which is alpha_Roque97. That's ROQUE and the numbers 97, or by email at droque954@gmail.com. Again, that's D as in David, Roque, ROQUE 954@gmail.com. All right. This episode is brought to you by Sunday Paintball. Sunday Paintball is one of the most amazing brands in the business right now. Their whole mission is to be the Tom Shoes of paintball and give players more Sundays. What does that mean exactly? They are donating 50% of all of their profits on any of their things right back into the game to the players, to you guys that are listening right now. How exactly do they do this? Well, you could head over to their website, sundaypaintball.com. They have a tracker of how much money they have and will continue to give away. And what they do is they set up booths at events. They give out paint to teams. They give out, donations and gift certificates to different fields. They do an amazing job of giving back to the community that we all love. And it's really special. It's something that is very unique. We are incredibly appreciative and supportive of them because their passion is to help grow the sport. So if you guys could head over to sundaypaintball.com, check out any of their merchandise. They have so much cool stuff on their website. You can use code PLAYTHEGAME, get a 20% discount, and do a great thing by knowing that some of that money is going back to getting more players out to play on Sundays.
This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by Transfuse, the amazing premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula that is scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in their products. It is packed full of zinc, vitamin B6, vitamin C, sodium, potassium, and choline. And when you take this product, you are going to feel the difference on and off the field. I know that playing paintball with Transfuse has been a game changer, and it will be for you as well. If you head over to translabs.com, that's translabs.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME, you will get 10% off. And if you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you get an additional 10% off. So you can take advantage of a total of 20% off on these amazing products. Also, head over to their Instagram at transfuse.official and check them out, and be on the lookout for their new flavors and brain booster nootropics that are coming soon. We absolutely love Transfuse from top to bottom, one of the best companies in the world with the greatest people running it. So head on over and become a part of their community and check them out. This episode is brought to you by the one and only G2 Paintball. If you are in Arizona or on the West Coast and soon to be nationally, be on the lookout for G2 training dates and be sure to sign up. They are a paintball athletics company designed to help you become the best paintball athlete imaginable by running you through all of the different moves and techniques that you need to know and you're going to be implementing on the paintball field. So that way when you get into the situations, the muscle memory is dialed in. You are also going to learn skills. You're going to learn tactics, and of course the agility, which is training to maximize your performance on and off the field. This stuff is used by myself and Marcelo, and we're pushing paintball players to become pro or just dominate in your division. Don't make excuses out there. Physical fitness is at an all-time high in paintball, and you cannot win paintball tournaments unless you are ready to go physically on Sunday when you're dead tired and you're ready to hold up that trophy with your friends and family. So you got to be prepared, and G2 will help you do that. Head on over to g2paintball.com. Also check out their Instagram at G2Paintball, and give our man Victor Gamboa at Gamboa Limited, that's his Instagram, a follow and support him as well. It's owned and operated by Victor and Rusty, and they're doing tremendous things in the sport. We absolutely love G2, and we cannot wait for you to get involved. So have some fun with G2 Paintball.
Hello, PTG fam. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. This episode, we have PTG alumni, one of the fan favorites, Nick Leival. After everything that's been going on, obviously Latin Saints, Edmonton Impact, there's a lot of hot topics that we could get into and that we did get into on this show. We just got back from the Paintball Combine, and Nick was one of the professors out there, one of the coaches, and just a lot of really cool stuff to converse about heading into the new season. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Marcotte. Great communication. And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Marcotte was on fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We have the PTG alumni, Nick Leival.
Let's
My
go.
man, what up, dude?
All right. I feel like, back on campus, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we're gonna have to,
You guys are like some of my favorite non-team paintball people. So, it's one
Dude,
of my
right
favorite
back
things.
at you.
likewise, man.
Right back at you. And we actually just got back from the Paintball Combine, which was a lot of fun. We were all hanging out down in Sacramento, and that was a great time out there.
Yeah, man. I love the combines. First off, trying to get numbers for a lot of things that were kind of up in the air in paintball for a long, long time, and set some standards involved there, which I'll elaborate on some of that later. But that, number one, and then two, the people that go to the combines are always awesome because it's instead of the game where we're competing against each other, you're competing against yourself. So you can actually cheer people on to beat their own times, and you can go out there and try your hardest to get your own best time. So it's like the best of all worlds coming together. You got paintball, you got fun, you got competition, but yet with yourself. So it's great.
Yeah, Anthony and Lori have created something so special to bring all of us together and do something we love. And between the Combine, the summer camp, and all the different events that they do, and the platform that they're providing these players to come out and showcase their skills in, it's really special because, we were talking about it. The overall floor definitely seemed like it was the best that it's ever been at this last Combine. And that's important to me because I think that is telling of, you guys know how divisional players usually are. Like the D2 semi-pro guys are usually the ones like, I don't need to go to that stuff. I don't need to go to a clinic. I don't need to go to a combine, I'm going to get my shot, or, what can they actually do for me? I think you're seeing a lot of the more experienced players. They're realizing that players that are coming to these events are getting real opportunities in the pro division or in better camps, or, they're traveling for paintball. They're getting to have better experiences with the game because of of these programs that ultimately Anthony and Lori have created, and all of us are part of. So it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see the growth of it.
I love that breakdown. I think that's perfect. And like, I also honestly think that it's starting to change the floor, as you said, of the game itself, because like divisionally to pro to, I mean, in my hopes, future pro, there's this climbing of a hill where, you've got to get really good fundamentally. Your fundamentals got to be on point, and then your strategy has to be really good, and then your mentality has to be really good, and you're on this like climbing escalator, and then at some point in high level pro, you have to go all the way back down and start with fundamentals again, and your fundamentals have to be great, and then
Yeah.
it has to keep building. And I think right now, whether you're the floor of the combine, you're going to work for great fundamentals. And then, and candidly, after the combine, I had somebody ask, like, I would have really liked to see, your guys' scores. And I talked to you guys a bit about this, and I think this is something that we're going to do. And, I went out there for maybe 2 hours the next day on the same exact targets and fields that the other guys were on. And I filmed a bunch of myself doing those drills. I only got through 2 of them. I did the break shooting, the running, gunning. Oh no, 3, and the lateral slide. And I filmed them. And now I have to go back and time myself like I was the coach, or
Yeah.
like what we were doing at the combine, making sure that people were doing all the right things. And I'm gonna have to go back and watch the tape, and then I can update that into the combine. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I love that. I think that's a great idea. I can't wait to actually perform all those different skill sets and track myself, and then progress on those scores as well. It's a really fun metric that you can always be working on, and point blank, it's just a lot of fun. Like, you get to run around, do
Absolutely.
these very crucial drills that are skill sets that you absolutely need in paintball to be extremely proficient, and you can database yourself and see how you've progressed as a player as well. And that's been really special to see with all the people that continue to come back to the combine, is their growth, in a short amount of time when they apply themselves, is pretty spectacular, and they're having a lot of fun. I think, like you said, it's raising the floor, and it's going to be cool to see all of the pros hop on that wagon and start tracking themselves so that we can have metrics on everybody as well.
Yeah, I think you have to have that, right? Otherwise, like, what's the bar? The bar is just the best, divisional player that's done that. But in all other sports, the professional athletes' 40-yard dash time. Their
Yeah.
scores. You're aware of these, right? Because that is the bar. That is what you're striving to get to. So
Hmm.
of course, it's kind of an ego check for some people. I know a lot of the pros don't like doing that stuff, because if you make a mistake, maybe it can hurt your brand or something. But at the end of the day, I mean, kind of get over it. Practice until you're really good, and let's set the bar and see. Let's see really how much better we are fundamentally
Dude,
than the rest of the players, right?
yeah, we got to kill the ego, man. Just
For
Yeah.
just
sure.
play
Put the
with
health
place.
out a little. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm throwing this out there right now. If there's any current pros that want to do those drills and send me the video footage, I will look over it myself, and I won't tell anyone your scores unless you want them to be posted. And I just wanted to get us to have a really good baseline. So, if Tyler's amazing at lateral slide and his off the break is terrible, I want to throw that out, and I want to see these top scores from current pros, because
Mhm.
I really think that sort of the way we started this, of getting your fundamentals really good, then getting your strategy really good, and then
Yeah.
getting your mentality really good. There's going to be some people that are just, I mean, drill phenoms, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has been to a basketball gym after school and had that buddy that could hit threes all day, but that guy's not going to go play the NBA, right? Because you're missing all those other steps.
Hey,
But
whoa! I'm feeling attacked right now.
you're feeling attacked. I'm trying to say that
It's
you
okay,
can
dude.
be an amazing fundamental player. It's not all of the game, but I really think
Totally.
that the fundamentals is the place to start in your journey. And so if we can get those scores from people that are hopeful, or people that just want to figure out where they fall in terms of the higher and lower tier of certain drills, like I think the combine is the way to do it. And so I really want to get, again, if you're a current pro out there and you want to go over the BKI combine drills, film it. I want to see your measurements on the field because we're very particular. I mean, down to the inch of everything. You show me that you measured it and you film it with no cuts all the way through. I will look at your times and I will send you your scores of how us three would score a drill like that. And it's going to be a lot of extra work for me, but we're doing it. I don't know if I cut out there.
Yeah, we lost you for a sec there, Nick.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was saying, I know it's going to be a lot of extra work for me to take on a lot of that, but if you go through the time of showing me that you measured correctly, you show me that there's no cuts in between your video and you did the full drill. And you send me the footage. I will definitely get that posted. So any current pros, that's a challenge out there for the combine drills. And then you can look where you fall in a lot of the people that have practiced those drills for months.
Let's go, pros.
Let's go.
Yeah, for real though. Dude, Nick, I absolutely love and honestly admire how much you care about the game. Being in all the different groups, whether it's this group for clinics that we might do, or the BKI group, or talking to you on the show, I think this is your third, maybe fourth time on the show. It's so apparent, man.
Yep.
It's yeah, but your passion for paintball and like everything you're doing to really legitimize our sport and bring the game to the next level, man. Just appreciative of you, man.
We salute you.
We salute you, bro.
Yeah, PTG salute.
We got to keep doing it. We got to keep going. Someone helped us get here,
100%.
and so we've got to do at least a little bit of a bar push, whatever it might be.
Especially right now, I feel like, I kind of have alluded to this a lot lately, but I feel like our sport is in a better place than it's ever been. I feel like there are a ton of eyes on the sport, and at any moment, something could pop. Maybe it's a player that has this insane combine score or drill, and like that video goes viral because it's just so perfect. The guy nails it. And so, Sports Center or one of these other major social networks repost it because it is just so impressive, right? Like maybe that is totally like, maybe that's what goes viral, or I think our shout out to our coach, Skinny Kevin. He had an amazing idea when he was on Go Sports. He was talking about like the Iconic Awards, and he was saying something that would be really cool is like trick shot of the year, and anybody,
that's great.
It's an amazing idea, and anybody can submit them, right? So think of how many players are going to be out at the local field just like doing cool trick shots. Can you shoot 3 paintballs out of the air? Can you kick one and shoot? Whatever it might be, people are going to get super creative with it. That could go viral, right?
I like that idea.
All right. We're challenging you out there. Trick shots. Tag PTG. Let's get the trick shots going.
Dude, I'll put up a jersey right now for the dopest trick shot.
Yeah, let's go.
That gets done.
Dude, we're gonna get some good ones. How about to keep it going? If next year trick shot 2023, I'll throw up my jersey. So and I just saw our jerseys coming out for this year. They're sweet. So be ready for that one.
Dude, that's awesome. Dude. And you and Colt are doing something, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yeah, we haven't fully planned that out, but so I changed my number this year for various reasons, and I wanted to do just something fun for one of the last numbers I had on my current jerseys, and I did a lot in trying to select that number. Everything from from colors to gematria, and adding 2 numbers together to get a certain value to where it's a word. And
of course,
this is crazy because my old number 13 in gematria is the word love.
Love. That's it. Boom. So and can you explain what gematria is for the listeners who don't know?
Okay, so it's a Hebrew version of basically being able to say words through numbers. So certain numbers added together that they don't add up to 10, but either way, like in the Hebrew Bible, which is like one of the oldest Bibles, is how you find words categorically. And so each word is a number. And so certain numbers represent certain ideas that a word might be too complex to say in a small spot.
Yeah. Dude, it's amazing. Wow.
But I just thought it was crazy that like I chose 13, and like I mean my last name Leival, and I on my Instagram I break it down phonetically as love all, because I mean that's how you say it.
Yep.
And the fact that 13 was love, I was like, what are the odds of that? Like that it literally says like Leival above love. Like it's like so weird. But
You're
to answer your
working
question, so sorry.
you're working with a different frequency. That's why, it's all dialed in there. And before we get into the numbers, I do want to say we're going to the summer camp soon. So if you hear about the summer camp, get ready to sign up for that, because we're going to be going live out there. And this is going to be my first year going to the summer camp. So I'm
Yes.
really
Bro,
excited
it's the best.
to
It
head
is
out there.
hands down. I mean, honestly, the only event that I think is better for me is World Cup. Other
I
than
agree
that,
with that, Marcelo. I think
yeah.
you're not off base there.
Other than that, summer camp is the best time. We have a blast. The amount of information that you learn, like I know a lot of players message me and they kind of, because it's called summer camp, they think that maybe you have to be a kid to go. They don't quite understand what it is. It is nonstop paintball action the entire time, no matter what age. We have a good time. We talk shop all day. We work all day, and then at night we're still talking paintball, whether it's on the big screen, going over video and footage from the day, or talking different high level concepts. We usually prepare like these little courses and stuff to have at night. We have a private chef. We have sweet games, dude. It's an amazing event. Truly one of my favorite ones. I mean, like I said, World Cup is really the only one that I look forward to more.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
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 You nailed it
It's a
though. Like
blast.
it really is for
Yeah.
all ages. We always have like a different range every time. And it really doesn't matter like what skill level, what age, what experience you have. Like you're going to learn something and you're gonna have fun. So like
Mhm.
I know just being in those environments where people are having a good time and working hard at the same time, it's not like most of regular life. Like either you're working
Yeah.
hard and you're bummed about it, or you're having fun and you feel like you're not working hard. So like it's kind of the best
Totally.
of both worlds,
Yeah.
Well
It
said.
it truly is, man. And who knows? Maybe we'll have the biggest gel strike war ever in the history of the world out there too. I think that would be pretty legendary if we can
Dude, we
get
should do
something
like
like
a manhunt night with the gel strikes. If you get the glow in the
yeah.
dark,
Kick the
Yo.
can.
let's go around the woods.
Oh man, the mosquitoes out there. I remember the first
They're
year.
birds.
The first year, yeah, we played was it Ultimate Frisbee? I think we played not capture flag. Yeah, I think it was Ultimate Frisbee. And it was as the sun was setting, I came in, I had a bunch of bites, but they always get me.
Yeah,
No one else will get bit.
the
If I'm
magnet for the
yeah,
mosquitoes.
if
I don't understand. Like you get really, really hit hard, but at the same time, if we're playing like Manhunt with Gel Strike, it's like a built-in anti-camp. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You can't be hiding behind a bush for too long, or you're gonna get destroyed. So you better be moving all the time.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
Dude,
it
that's a good
sounds like
idea.
so much fun. Oh man.
We're for sure gonna bring some gel strike guns.
Yeah, it's going down.
100%. Yeah,
Yep.
damn.
Okay, I want to dive back into jersey numbers because I think
Oh,
it's
yeah?
super interesting. We actually discussed this a little bit when I was out in Sacramento with you doing the combine. We had some really good combos about jersey numbers, just numbers in general, magic, bunch of fun stuff. And talk to me more about your jersey number and like kind of what what power the jersey number has, you feel like it gives you, because I really believe in that. That's why my number is 12. It has to do with the 12 constellations, and 12s and 60s make up pretty much our entire system. It's all 12s and 60s. So it's a really big number. So I want to dive into your jersey number and what it means to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess to answer that question, I will talk about what Colt and I are doing, because Colt ended up winning my jersey contest, and we ended up talking for a couple hours after that because I was like, dude, you got to give this to someone. He's like, I have a jersey collection too. And I'm like, that's fair. So let's find another way to give it away. But he was asking me those same questions. What do these numbers mean? And we talked about gematria and that kind of stuff. But I really think that if you find the meaning of your number and you live it, there's some sort of like luck or serendipity that becomes involved in being true to that number. It's almost like a promise. And so the contest we were thinking of doing through you guys was basically getting some really good stories of how people chose their numbers, what research they have behind it, and how it fits them. And so like your number is a great example of like being a part of a whole that's complete something, and that totally fits you as a teammate. Like bringing Tyler on is going to give any team a huge boost, like not even on the field, but like just in terms of completion off the field. You're such a positive person, and like so your number fits. In terms of 37, it's a really really deep number, and it's almost like a promise to myself that I'm worried about fulfilling, and so it's like a higher goal I have than I am as a person right now. But so 7 and 3 are 10, which is the whole, and the differentiation of 7 and 3 is also relates to the golden ratio. So
That's right.
if you
Yeah.
know what the golden ratio is, I mean, I do graphic design, so I like art, and we are drawn to that ratio, whether we know it or not, because it's in a lot of different. It's in everything in nature. So there's a lot of nature involved. Where if you Google the golden ratio, you'll see this shell shape, and it's the way that a shell starts small and then grows by a certain percentage, and then does that over and over and over again, whether that's broccoli, whether that's the human face. But the golden ratio is a pretty interesting thing. So if you're interested in that, you can go that direction. If you want to get into crazier stuff, which is like magic and the Bible and Jesus, I would just recommend Googling 37 by 73, or the Jesus number. And that is, I mean, I just probably gave you a week's worth of reading on just one website. So if
Yeah.
you're interested in that, you can go into that. But I just find numbers really fascinating, and that one is sort of like a key number, where if you have that number, you can do a lot of really strange things when it comes to fractals and making natural shapes. So I really enjoy that, and I think again it's sort of bigger than the way I see myself, but hopefully I can grow into it. That's the goal.
Dude, radical.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And man, what you just said, people could dive into some of the topics there and like you said, be in there for weeks. But there is truly mystic to numbers. It's like there's this, I don't know, this kind of magic that happens when you believe. I know Marcelo 33, and 33 is a very deep number as well. If you look
Absolutely.
into that number, there's really power in numbers, like they say.
Well, it's funny that like a lot of people are willing to understand that words have power in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different ways. However far you want to take it, if you want to take it that words can hurt you, or words can take a really complex idea and allow me to hand it to you. Like words are powerful, and so numbers can be powerful in terms of a universal language, but they also can be powerful in terms of mysticism. And so I think that like to
Mm-hmm.
completely disregard your number and either pick it based on someone that you liked in a different sport and stuff like that, having just like no idea what your number could represent and how it represents you, or what direction it pushes you in. That's sort of why Colt and I came up with that idea of trying to get people to think about their number, and we also wanted to learn too. So it's kind of like two-sided, because hopefully some people do some great research papers and break it down for us, and we can read like a couple paragraphs and learn a shitload.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah. Yeah, numbers are it's funny. I did pick my number because it was my dad's number. That was, I was 15, 16 years old. First time I was going to have a number on my jersey when I turned pro for the Ironman. Didn't know if I wanted to go with 7 or 33. And I liked the symmetry of 33. I liked the smoothness of 33. I just liked the way it looked. To me, it seemed elegant. And it was my dad's favorite number. So, it was kind of a no-brainer. So I went with 33. And it wasn't until, years later that I kind of started to understand what these numbers mean and started to learn about 33 being one of the master numbers. You have 11, 22, and 33. And 33 is like the big kahuna, with 11 and 22 combined. Funny enough, it is the master teacher is what that means. That's the type of master number it is, which is so interesting that's like what I do through and through. I love to teach the game of paintball. And so many other things
it's like
that
almost something you grow into. Like it almost, you set this path that you didn't really even know that you set. I love it.
Absolutely. So it has been pretty cool, diving down that rabbit hole and trying to understand my number. And that number has honestly become like so crucial to me in my life. Like I see 33 all over the place. I love that number. It like makes me feel a certain way when I see it. It has like a comfort to it, which is strange in itself.
You brought up a whole different section too of like, we brought up mysticism, we brought up science, but like the shape, there's power in symbols, and like shape is a huge thing too. So like, 33 has 4 loops, 6 straight parts. Like there's a lot of things you can go into in shape. So if someone wants to add that to their description when they eventually send Colton, that's a little hint Marcelo just dropped there.
Yes, shapes are
I like
shape.
It, dude.
It all goes hand in hand. The numerics and the shapes.
Tyler's got a good freeze, unless it's me.
Yeah, I think it might be you, but we're rocking and rolling. The shapes are amazing. Like you have, obviously, one of my favorites is the flower of life, and that incorporates all the different shapes and kind of ratios like you were talking about into that sacred geometric symbol. And all of the top designers, like you were talking about, you do design work as well, they use the golden ratio, and they make
hey Ty, hold on 1 second, brother.
Okay, I'm glad that wasn't just me. Damn, I missed out. Like it looked like an amazing description too. Are you muted, Ty?
No, so Ty, it shows that you are offline on the Zencaster. Sorry, PTG World.
Yeah, it's
PTG, baby.
It's showing me live.
One of the things that I really enjoy that you guys are doing is the community aspect. I think that like you guys are almost in a weird way building like a new PB Nation.
Oh, absolutely.
From the ground up.
Yeah, absolutely. The PTG community has been so awesome, and it's kind of, it does remind me of that. When I was younger, you'd go on PB Nation and talk with your buddies, have conversations about this event, that event, all sorts of stuff, which was, what kind of gun people have. We have all of those channels in the PTG Discord.
Yep. Are we still
the channel that I'm probably going to need to use soon is for the Snapshot VR game, because when I get home, I have a Oculus waiting for me, and I am really pumped to get in on Snapshot VR. And I hear it's rather complicated, so I'm gonna have to use that Discord to get that settled.
Yeah, dude, the Snapshot VR game is so dope. I can't wait for you to start playing so that we can run some games.
Yes.
But yeah, it's really easy. You'll go into that Discord and the dude's name is Jesse. Him or someone else will walk you through. But man, like that's gonna be really fun. And I think there's a cool way that we can use it to even like teach paintball, and teach certain concepts and connect with the community on a whole nother level. So I'm pumped for you to get it. Just understand that the first like 3 or 4 days is really frustrating because dude, it's so hard to like get the body mechanics down.
I get pretty intense on video games, not intense in terms of like taking it out on other people, But like, if you ask any of my friends that have played video games with me, I'll be the one that's like watching YouTube videos, trying to get better, like trying to learn the best guns to use, like what are the spots on the map and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so, like, I'm sure I'm going to be trying to break into mechanics in that game, and I mean, hopefully at some point they're cool enough to add a mod where the bunkers are like exactly the same
Yeah.
bunkers. I know
Yeah.
that's kind of like like maybe not what they're going for, but like just maybe a walkthrough mod would be sweet to be able to do like a guns up type of thing and play on the field.
Oh. Now I lost Nick for a sec. Where you tuning in from right now, Nick?
So I am in Northern California. After the combine, I went on a hunting trip with Dave Baines, the Capital Edge man himself. Which again, appreciate Capital Edge for hosting that the combine and future things. I spend a lot of time there because that impacts home field pretty much, and so we're trying to find something fun to do after practices and stuff like that if I have the time. And I think this is about to be our thing. So Dave
Very
knows
cool.
someone with a big chunk of land out here, and there are deer and hogs that run around on the property. And there's also so we went out early this morning, like before the sun came up, and we drove around the entire property. It was about 1,500 acres. It's freaking huge, and we didn't see anything. So no,
Damn.
nothing. But one of the guys that works there and that caretakes the property has his own shooting range at his house. So we ended up going to his house. He's he actually is an instructor for SIG firearms, and he's an old like special forces trainer.
Oh, wow.
Also worked for Blackwater. So, dude, this guy's like a legit badass,
The real
legit.
deal.
And so
Yeah.
I shut up and I was like, please teach me everything that we can in these next few hours. Like I am open. And so we ended up shooting like 100, 200, 300, and he's like, I bet I could get you guys to shoot 800 yards. And I was like, I mean, the most I've ever shot is 500. And I was like, I mean, where is, like, how are we going to shoot 800 yards? And he's like, yeah, look up that hill. And all the way up at the top of the hill was this, like, silhouetted body that was tiny at 800 yards. And so, I mean, that's almost like an opportunity of a lifetime, honestly. Like, I've been to a lot of ranges, I've been to a lot of places. Like, to put together an 800 round course where you can have someone adjust your shot, look at wind, and give you enough rounds to fire that you don't have to just leave and say I didn't get it. Hit it on my first shot, and then my second
Dude.
shot, and so like I was like, this guy is the man. Oh, there we got the audio back from the boy.
There we go.
Awesome. No, I was trying to be a professional, and I could see you were muted, so I was filling the airwaves.
I think
But no,
we,
we're good now.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, granted, there was some sighting in before that, worked up from 500, but when that's the 800 is the furthest I've ever shot, and I know people can shoot, a mile. I mean, 2 miles these days if like you have all of the best equipment, but that was really a cool opportunity, and so we ended up doing that all day, and we were supposed to go out hunting again tonight, but um, I don't know if we're gonna do it.
How come?
Because there were supposed to be some people that came up. Harry Fong, the coach of DMG, and Tom Cole, the NXL man himself, but he got stuck out flying out, and so I won't be able to see any of them because I leave tomorrow morning bright and early. So it's all good.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that sounds like quite the,
Yeah, yeah, the old guys. I'm like a medium guy right now.
You're all in though, dude. I bet not too long you're gonna be fully self-sufficient, self-sustainable. I think that's your goal with part of this, isn't it?
It definitely goes into it. I would like to be proficient enough to be able to take to understand how to, from start to finish, sustainably and ethically hunt. And so this is part of trying to understand that, learning from a lot of people that have their expertise here and there, and putting it together and being able to do it completely by myself at some point, ideally. So yes, that definitely goes into the long term goal of not needing anybody until I get old, and then I need people again.
The circle of life, man. That's just how it
It's a
goes.
circle of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get some kiddos out before then.
For sure. That's, a funny thing that I've thought about. I'm like, that is the thing about growing old, is your kids are like so important to you,
Absolutely.
I watched, with my dad, just having his kids around made everything so much easier, so much better for him. He's so just thoroughly happy. I want to be 80, 85 years old one day, being able to look down, and if I'm coming to the end of my time, it's, you realize that part of you is still living on. There's still, your DNA and part of your soul will still be here in a physical form, through your kids, which is a really, really special thing.
Yeah, you can pass the torch. Like, I think there's a reason why they do that in the Olympics. You hand that to the next generation, that flame that sustained you, and you hand it over, and you kind of have to be. It doesn't matter if you're okay with it or not; it's going to happen. So you hopefully make that flame burn as bright as you can, let them see as much as they can, and hopefully pass it on brighter than before, instead of turning that thing down, to a little trickle.
All right. So I say we let's kind of jump back in before we get ahead. I did want to keep talking about some of the players that came to the combine, because there was a lot of talent, like we had brought up, and a lot of the players scored very well. We have some champions. You guys able to see the combine scores? Do you guys have that page?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Shout out to all the participants and the scores they threw down there. It was amazing getting to see you guys and girls push each other to be better out there. And that's the great thing, is it's such a great community aspect. Everyone was hyping each other up and really trying to get the best numbers that they could, and have fun with the process, like we always talk about.
Yeah, and it was also, I think we had the most lady paintball players at the combine than we've had in the
Yeah.
past. I personally got to work with one of them. Shout out to Scout. She plays on is it Sacramento Diamonds? Something
I believe so.
Diamonds. Yeah.
They all
Apex.
crushed it. Let me just
Yeah,
say it.
yeah,
They
yeah.
all crushed it out there, and they're all working so hard too to be better. And we're excited to see the WNXL debut in a big way, like never before this year, for all the ladies out there.
Totally. I mean,
Yeah,
they have to
that's
work hard, right? That's you're in the professional female division, so they have to set the bar, set the standard. So it's good to
Mhm.
see them out there. Yeah, sorry, Nick, you were about to say something.
no. I was sort of about to say the same thing, in terms of, the ladies they need to now set a new bar for female athletes in paintball, and I was unaware of the amount of players, the female persuasion that came out of the woodwork to create these teams, and to have that for a little girl out there playing paintball, and see, like, that there's a women's division. I can hang out with a whole bunch of women instead of guys playing paintball, and make a bunch of friends, which I think paintball's amazing at, and have this great competition in my life, is super super healthy for the sport. But in the end, in the very end, I think the coolest thing about paintball is that there's not really a big separation in terms of male versus female athletes, because the gun is the greatest equalizer in all sports. And
Mhm.
so I hope that one day there is a high level professional mixed division in play, ideally.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, it's going to be amazing to watch the development over the years, because I think we're about to see a storm of ladies come through the paintball game and start taking over this whole entire facet, because it's so much fun. Anybody who plays paintball, they're like, I'm hooked. Shout out to Maggie. She was one of the participants out there, and she is part of the PTG Discord, GOAT Squad, and had an amazing time out there. I got to coach her actually, and she was stunting on people. And after only like a couple months in the game, to see that development and be so hungry for knowledge and to really be pushing herself was really cool to see. And I'm excited to see more of that as we move forward.
Absolutely. I have this breathing exercise slash I guess I don't know what to call it on BKI, a master class they call it, on breathing and movement. And not all of the videos have been released because we released them in sections. And so she had come up to me on Saturday, extra credit, Maggie, and asked, what about hip slide? Because, we're covering Superman, you're covering Off the Break. And so I was like, oh, well, I mean, if you have BKI, it's on there. And I was unaware that that video hasn't been released yet. And so I was like, go home and watch it, Maggie, you missed it. And she came back the next day and she was like, you're a liar. And I was like, you're right, I'm a liar. I was informed that it was not up there yet. So, be those things to come out, because as some of the players definitely let us know that those videos and those drills and those tips that we give them definitely lend towards doing well at the combine. If you're so interested, the knowledge will and is out there to go find. And so we're trying to provide that.
Absolutely. Maggie's hilarious. She came up to me after with an ice pack on her lip because I think someone bunkered her. She had this big old swollen lip, and she's like, your book is wrong. Like, what are you talking about, Maggie? And she's like, how to play the snake position, it's wrong. Like, you were wrong in there. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, what happened? She's like, you said to play the tape. I was playing the tape, and I get bunkered on the inside. I was like, okay, well, let's break this down a little bit. Do you have more, about the situation? Like, I'm trying to figure out, what's going on. And
it's not that simple, Maggie.
It totally. And she goes, well, I was the last one alive against 4, and I didn't look inside because the book said not to. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Maggie, it's a 1-on-4. All the rules are out the window at that point. You got to protect yourself.
I love it. She's trying to play by the book.
Oh, she is so diligent with, even, so she's playing the Snapshot VR game, and we were playing last night. We were playing some 5-on-5s, and then everyone kind of finished up. And so she stayed in there, and we were playing some 2-on-2s. And I guess she was recording it, but I had bunkered her in one of the clips. She posted it on Instagram, which is funny, but she sent me the clip and was like analyzing, you were shooting the outside of my bunker and then you came this direction. Why did you do that? Should I have gone this way? I'm like, dang, you are all in. And
she's on the right track.
Yeah, 100%. She's a very intelligent person, and she's just so obsessed with the game of paintball, which is awesome. I think she's been playing a month. I forgot if one of you had said that, but she's only been playing a month, and she's all in and really trying to do whatever she can to soak up the information.
She's a trooper, dude. That lip shot was no joke. And she actually traded out. She traded out with the guy on the wire. She saved a couple of the games out there for our squad. Like, no lie. She was stunting on people. I was so hyped. I was like, let's go, Maggie. I was like, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so good. Cause we were coaching our squads, and it's really cool to see the players that you're coaching soak up information and apply it right there on the spot, and have fun with the whole process. And we're really excited to watch and see what Maggie does, because she's going to be a star out there if she keeps it up.
Yeah, one of the things I find interesting is like how we gravitate towards certain people. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to remember everybody. There's always too many people. And, even some people that you meet, maybe, they wanted to take their little bit and go, which is 100% fine. I work better alone than I do maybe in terms of coaching. But like, I think that just really lends to the right mentality, because we all get excited when we see people with that mentality and that are trying to apply things and trying to revamp what they know and to be willing to throw it out the window and then create it again. And so, it's those type of personalities that we're privy to in terms of growing in the sport. And for anyone who is looking to grow in the sport, I really think shifting your vision towards that mentality is going to not only drive you further in the long run, but really encourage people to help you along the way and be excited for you. So
And that's for pro players as well. As pro athletes, we should all be approaching it with that same vigor to acquire knowledge and to be hungry to be better every moment that we possibly can. We step out on that field, and that goes into personal life too. We got to make decisions and choices that are going to dictate the direction that we move in. And well, like what Nick was saying is absolutely true. Whenever we see that, we want to nurture that kind of, care for the game. We can tell when people really care or when they're kind of going through the motions. And if you just flip that switch on and start to really dig into the process, you're going to have a bunch of people, pro and beyond, that are going to want to nurture that involvement that you have in that process.
Absolutely.
it's a fine balance too, because there is I don't know how I
It
want to
is.
go about this.
Yeah.
Because there also is an understanding when someone sees that attention and they want to gravitate towards that and do all those quote unquote right things to get that attention versus doing the right things to grow. And so if you ever are in that position where you're like, man, I thought I was doing all the right things, yourself and try to figure out whether that was because of the potential of attention or whether that potential was in yourself for growing. And I think people have a weird detector radar for that kind of thing. So, you really have to figure out what your intentions are and do it with purity.
That's it.
Totally. It's like we were talking about at the summer camp. The first year we had a lunch break, there were some kids that went and did drills, and you could tell it was truly just out of wanting to get better. It was like there was a pureness to them continuing to work. Well, those players ended up getting a trophy. We recognized them for that work ethic. And now every year it's like the kids are doing it. And you're like, you're trying to get attention. We see what you're doing. I'm glad you're working, but it's not as organic as the first time around.
Nick's right. People can smell BS. They're like, we know
the
what's
BS
going
meter
on.
is.
It's weird how we have that too. I don't understand how it works, but it works.
It's crazy. It's like the sixth sense or something like that. There's some, I don't know, metaphysical realm that we're all attached to, or we can, you kind of have a pretty good idea of what's going on in all reality. I do want to dive into, obviously we had the Paintball Combine and tracking that, but what are some developments that we can do as professors to be better for that process for our peers as well?
I think a big one is what Nick was referring to with just setting the bar. First and foremost, set the bar to give people really a goal, a line in the sand that they know they need to get to be on our level with at least the fundamentals. But I think the drills are really good. If your question is in regards to that, like, are there other metrics we could be keeping? One that I thought would be a cool idea. I've thrown this idea around because it's kind of like basketball. They keep track of, when you go to shoot, you're like point A to point B, your release, how much time there is in that. So for me, it was like when you slide from like the second your knee hits the ground to when you pop up and shoot at a target, which is a very important fundamental in paintball, the slide cancel, as Sports Center calls it. A metric like that, right, would be a pretty good one to keep, how accurate you are with your target and how long it takes you from the moment your knee hits the ground when you're sliding to getting back up and actually pulling the trigger.
Absolutely. I think in that same exact vein, the more we can get into that nitty gritty as our technology gets better to measure this stuff. I mean, speed of reaction time from buzzer or speed of barrel to target in the first place.
Dude, we got to do some shout outs for the participants.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
Julian Velasquez, the #1 overall winner. Shout out to him. He works his butt off. He's always out at ASG with us on off weekends in the off season. And, he's definitely putting in work. So it's cool to see him out there. And then I want to give a shout out too to young Anthony, kid from the Gummy Bears. And that kid is just really improving and getting a lot better. He has a bright future if he sticks with it. He's hungry. He's not afraid to attack. It's awesome to see.
Absolutely. And like that stuff makes me excited because one of our guest professors was Greg Sewers,
Mhm.
and I talked to him a little bit before he left. All right, Dave Baines is jumping on the call right now.
Hey,
Oh
we
my
got
goodness.
Get in.
Beastman, dude. We've wanted Beastman on the show for a long
I thought
time.
this would be a good,
Yeah,
good time.
it's time. He's here.
Slide on over, Dave.
You can't
Come
just
on,
Come on.
Dave.
Yeah.
unless you
Get in
We got
here.
some hot
we're gonna
questions.
jump on their other episode.
I'll say hi.
There we go.
Hi, Dave. We got Dave
What's
on
going
the
on?
show. At least we can say that we had you now, you know?
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, listen. You asked me, Tyler, and we had a lot of history, and I said I would be on the show, so we did it.
Yes, sir. This is all I get.
We did it.
All those years.
No, I'll let you guys talk to someone that's intelligent, all right?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
you're the man. Come on
No,
now.
Dave, come back here. You're not running away that quick.
Self-deprecating himself out of the room.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
great.
man.
Dude,
well,
we got
you-
him. We got
Yeah,
him.
we
You made
got
a
him.
cameo.
Put it on the record, folks.
You know a guy for 20 years, played through the thick and thin with him, and all you get 3 seconds. Come on, Dave. I need you.
You know he's on the phone talking to someone else now. Like,
I know.
you got a minute and a half, and then he's like, "All right, I gotta go." So
I have to say that guy right there, I have the utmost respect for. Dave Baines absolutely shaped me as a player and just an iconic person in paintball, man. That guy from when I was a young pup on Oakland. Yeah, he took me under his wing, dude. And he actually played on my novice team. He guested as a pro with us when I was just a novice on Twisted Factory.
no way.
Yeah, and
That's great.
him and Glenn Takamoto
Glenny.
Wow.
guested with me and the Twisted Factory squad, and we won a Division II championship, a couple of them out there in Chicago with Dave. So it's been
That is so cool.
yeah, we've
And,
been
like,
going at
you
it.
know, I don't think people really understand how much Dave puts into this sport and how much he has put into it. And I think a lot of people see Dave as someone who, you know, has been on the top for a long time. I mean, Dave might be the most winningest player of all time, like in terms of if you combine coaching and playing. So
Yeah.
that experience, but like in terms of giving back and in terms of nurturing players in this sport, I mean, I've definitely gotten a lot of motivation and light from him to want to do that because he has helped so many players. And I mean, like
Yeah.
think about starting little tiny Tyler off,
Yeah.
make him into the player he is now. Like not make him, not shape him, but at least be a guiding factor to that is like a
Mhm.
pretty a beautiful process. And so like there's some flame past for sure.
Oh man, I'm forever grateful for that, dude. I'll never forget after Oakland Assassins picked me up out there at Manteca Water Slides. Shout out to the Central Valley. On the day I made the team with Oakland, I'm like, you know, taking my gun apart, whatever, you know, the day's over, and I had already talked to Bobby, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna bring you in, and we'll see what you got, kid. You know, we'll try and make the best we can out of you." And Dave, he was like, you know, just no matter what happens, T, stay humble and, you know, be gracious for this whole thing and just stay on the grass, stay grassroots with, you know, just be humble is essentially what he was telling me. And I will never forget that conversation. It has stuck with me my whole entire life. I'm 32, I'm going to be 33 soon. And I still vividly remember that moment. And it completely dictated how I approached pro paintball from that moment forward. And, you know, being able to have him and all of the Cap Factory. That's why I want to have Dave on so bad, because I want to talk about Cap. I want to talk about all the OG paintball. I mean, he was a monster out there on the field. This guy would annihilate people. And it was so much fun traveling and watching Cap and like being a part of that crew with them and being like the young pup coming up through Oakland, but having that, like, those are my brothers, all Cap Factory. All those NorCal hitters are just legends.
Well, I think you've definitely stayed true to that, and props to you. And I think that that's really a huge reminder to anyone in a position that people can look up to. What you say and how you act is really, really important. I mean, you've always been a very humble person, and like, it makes me wonder a lot of the, let's say, younger players that come up and are overly cocky and really rude and really entitled to at a certain level getting a certain amount or you know, paint, flights, whatever. whatever it might be. I think a lot of that comes from that conversation. And so if they saw someone that they were like, all right, how do I get to there? And they were acting a certain way, I mean, that gets passed down too. So I think it's a huge
True.
reminder to current pros and past pros, like whenever you're out in those places where you have a chance to guest for a team. I mean, what kind of ambassador to the sport do you want to be? Do you want to create a whole bunch of knuckleheads, or do you want to run this into the ground,
Yeah.
or do you really want to talk about it, be about it in terms of hashtag grow paintball? And like I see a lot of people that tend to rather complain about it more than anything. And so yeah, do something. Start off
Yeah.
with not being a jerk.
Dude, and for everybody out there who thinks that, you're just going to make a boatload of money playing paintball, man, I played 17 or like 16 years pro before I saw anything. And
Yeah.
that's a long time pro, but it wasn't never about them. It's not about that. It's about putting on for the game and being something that can drive the engine of paintball forward at all times at the highest level. And that was always from day one, from when I was a kid, my ambition in this sport. And to, like you said, show love, be humble, be gracious for this opportunity that we have to play this game. We're so lucky to be able to even do this, that it's all love for paintball when it comes down to it.
Yeah, man, if you navigate this thing the right way, it will help you build character in ways that no amount of money could ever pay for. No amount of money could buy or show you or teach you. The game is truly special in that. Truly special. The lessons, the friendships, the relationships. To this day, I mean, it forces you to be uncomfortable. It forces you to accept people for their differences. We're such a melting pot of individuals, and whether it's different styles of play or different, backgrounds that you come from, I've never seen anything like it. When I go to the gym and say I play basketball, or if I go to the golf course, or I go do other things, usually it's like a collective of people that look like, basketball players or golfers or, whatever it might be. It's like typically, but paintball is like, you have all sorts of people, construction workers, accountants, stockbrokers, just a wide variety of people. And so the experiences you get from that, I mean, it's just really hard to compare. So, we always talk about the money, and it is cool to see money coming into the sport right now, but that's never really what it's been about. Never. And there's reason for that. But it's a good point, I guess, for the younger kids to make sure you're clear with what you want to get out of this. It can be the best thing in your life, but it might not be the golden ticket. Now that could change, that's the goal, obviously is the goal. And hopefully, and I do want to jump into some of the Latin Saints stuff and impact. And so maybe it's a good segue, but it's cool that kind of money is coming into the sport, because maybe it does raise that bar across the board, as long as it's sustainable and he does this for a decent amount of time. Who knows? Maybe SportsCenter catches wind that players are making $100,000 a year playing paintball, and that is enough of a story, right? Maybe 15 years ago when Oliver got the contract, maybe it wasn't enough of a story then, but now I think it is. So we could be on the brink of that, but
you can definitely make money playing paintball. I mean, you just got to grind.
Absolutely.
When I was coming up, there wasn't no telephones or internet, so you didn't have quite the same opportunities. But now with social media and branding yourself and all the things that you can do, you can be your own news source. You can be your own broadcasting station. I didn't have that growing up. So
you start your own podcast now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
anyone can do it. Right?
Anyone can do it.
Anybody. So just, you got to take it on your own shoulders and really attack it. And speaking, we've talked about Dave being an iconic player, and that's kind of what led us here. Marcelo, congratulations to you as Icon of the Year.
That's a transition. That's a segue.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, congratulations, Marcelo. I think definitely 2021. Wait, where are we now? Yeah, 2021 was definitely, first off the year of the Dragon, and who better to represent that? And I think that like it was a no-brainer if I'm voting. So for sure, Congratulations.
Well, I was in the vote too, so that kind of hurts me a little that you'd say that, but I'm
I
just,
know what I'd say.
I'm just joking. I'm just honored. I'm honored to be in that category as well, and super proud of my brother, dude. Like straight up, you inspire me. I know we inspire each other, and to watch you do what
100%.
you did this year, you know, I was right there, watching you, and super proud of you as a person, as a player, and just everything that you've been accomplishing on so many levels. Shout out to the crypto game too. Let's get it.
Shout out to the crypto game. No, thank you, man.
Man.
You know, I said this in the post too, but that's not a possible thing for me to achieve without you though, Tyler, you know, and the community that we've built, and actually people like you, Nick, that come on this show and share these stories with us. Like for me, when I first was on Go Sports and we were talking about just the nominees, it wasn't even about me in my head. To me, it's like, this is such a cool thing that our sport is having this, and we're starting to
Yeah.
make these recognitions,
point.
right?
Dude,
It's
Quinn.
insanely cool. Shout out to
Iconic.
Quinn. He should be
Let's
the
go.
icon of the year.
Yeah.
You know,
Quinn.
to be honest, like this is
You're the
super
icon.
badass. And then just kind of looking around at all the top pros right now, not, you know, a lot of the pros just in general are doing a great job of creating and like bringing something unique to the game. Like look at Alex and Oliver with Hormesis. You know, you have Meter doing a great job with Astra and his thing. You know, us with Play the Game, Nick, everything you're doing on from like a coaching perspective and trying to find ways to educate players and create a path for players to turn their dreams into a reality. You know, you're seeing this stuff across the board more than you ever have before.
Mm-hmm.
More than at any point in time in paintball, the pros are kind of all in on like pushing the game forward and doing it in their own unique ways. And to me, that's the greatest win. That's a huge accomplishment. That's such a turning point in the history of our sport, because for so long, the pros thought they were too cool to do that kind of stuff. You know, there was that kind of attitude in the pro division. And now you see, look at, you know, Archie and Ryan Brand with Project, you know, just you can go on and on, right? Greg Sewers even, you know, now he's retired, but still his whole fitness platform is majority, you know, paintball players. And he's doing things that transcend the sport of paintball. You're seeing it just left and right. And really, it's an amazing thing. Like as a fan of the game, as somebody that cares about the game, like I know every single one of us do, it's cool to see, because that gives me hope. That gives me inspiration that we're not far off. You know, like I truly like believe that to my core, that in a couple years we might be sitting here, who knows, maybe this podcast is huge, you know, and not because we made it huge, but because paintball is huge, you know, and like all of a sudden, you know, it's a just different world that we live in. That could happen. And I'm more hopeful than I've ever been before. I truly am.
That's beautiful. I love that. And I agree with you. I feel the same exact way. I think that we are definitely on the cusp of people recognizing how amazing of a sport this is. And like one of the things I was going to say earlier, I talked to Greg Sewers after the combine, and you know, we were talking about goals and you know, what we would like to see in the sport. And I was telling him the reason I'm here is because when I can't play anymore and my knees give out and my back gives out, I want to watch really good paintball. I want to watch high level paintball. I don't want people to have to restart from
Of course.
learning all the lessons we did all the way through in terms of strategy, in terms of mentality. I want it to be like top level play. And I think in the same vein that we were talking about people having a BS meter, you know, if you have a whole sport of people, and I'm not saying this is how it is, a whole sport of people kind of bringing BS to the athletic world, you're going to feel it. You know, if you watch a bunch of mediocre people doing mediocre things, it's not interesting. Whereas if we transcend the sport in a lot of ways, in terms of the play, in terms of the quality of just everything around, that's when we're ready. That's when we're ready to show it to people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like that BS meter doesn't go off, and you see these guys working their butts off to try to get really good at this thing. And now it becomes something I want to watch.
Totally. Yeah, man. Yep. Let's you know, let's make it happen. It's up to us. We just got to keep having fun with the process, as we always do, and keep working our butts off to be the best paintball players we can be. And then, you know, that gives us the best product. And that's what this is all about. Is paintball is a product essentially. And we want to deliver the best product that we possibly can to the audience and the viewers and everybody who, you know, God willing, will turn on that TV and watch some paintball and have us, because that's going to create so many opportunities for lineages of paintball players as far as we can push it through that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for the future. So we just got to keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep preaching it, man. I think, it's funny. So much of this creativity and the stuff that's going on was kind of inspired by COVID. It's kind of the silver lining. You look like the last, couple years, that's when a lot of these different creations, the Spick and Span show, Hormesis was made during that time. All of this has happened during that time for whatever reason. It forced people to kind of think outside the box and find different ways to get by and innovate. And
it's the age of Aquarius, man. Come on.
Yeah, people realized that we might lose it, and I think people were like, oh my God, we got to get out and play paintball.
Yeah.
That's definitely a huge part of it. I mean, I think that's happening in a lot of different industries right now, honestly. And, I needed to give you guys at least one tinfoil hat for sure.
Okay.
I don't know how far. Yeah,
tinfoil up.
Warning on it.
We're ready for you, Nick. We knew.
Yeah, get those chin straps on, or I'm giving you
Get those chin straps.
All right. So, I mean, we're well aware of the moon affecting so much in terms of tides and, ebbs and flows around the planet. And, that's something that we see very big and bright night. How do we throw out the idea of astrology being anything more than, this silly sort of like ancient lack of scientific or pseudoscience, when we all are like, yeah, the moon and the sun do a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of other stuff out there. How can you put so much emphasis on these two things and throw out all the rest of them? And so, like, regardless of what you believe, if you think at all there is something changes with just those two big bodies, we all know this is paintball. Like, little bodies are good to have. So those little bodies might be doing more than you think. Venus might be out there running the snake. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I think that there's some power to that, and we just moved into a brand new age, and who knows what that brings for our mentalities and for our future lives.
Hashtag tinfoil hat talk. Chris, we're going to need you to clip some tinfoil hat talk. And you're right. The moon pulls on all the water. And what are we? We're water. You think that the moon doesn't have an effect on you as a water being as well? Of course it does.
That's so silly.
And dude, the planets, they're these huge energy bodies whipping around everything. And if you look at the way that our solar system moves through space, it's not just sitting stagnant. It's moving through space in like this spiral, this beautiful spiral design that is, being projected through space and time. It's not just sitting somewhere. So we're moving in so many directions that we're not aware of. And absolutely, those energy bodies, whether they're planets or the energy body of the moon, definitely have a profound effect on our energy bodies as an organic being of planet Earth,
Yeah, and those are the planets that are orbiting our sun, and like
totally.
Who's not like, all right, so we have this weird
go big. He's going big.
No, I'm still keeping it pretty light here, but we have this understanding of or this lack of understanding of dark matter and how it makes up for the lack of gravity of matter in our universe. So we just created this idea of dark matter. Either way, if our sun is spinning, pulling these planets in that corkscrew pattern, and we're going through different segments of space, why is space the same all throughout that? So, if the sun is orbiting our galaxy and pulling us through it, there could be different energy levels, there could be different densities throughout. It's not just that matter that you can see. There's also different rays of light. There's different temperatures, all of these different things that we don't really take into account in terms of outside of our planet. And we just walk our happy little merry way around saying, I make my own decisions and the universe is mine, which is hilarious.
That's a cute concept and all, but the Earth is flat, dude. We're in a dome, so
yes, this is true.
I mean, if it wasn't,
we don't know what's out there.
Shouldn't we be feeling a spin a little bit? You know, shouldn't we be feeling that?
This is great.
Yeah, I think some of us. I think a lot of people do feel that the Earth is flat.
Just sick all the time.
Yep.
Oh man,
Dude,
It's like,
yeah.
if you can't ride a carnival ride without getting sick, you probably shouldn't go on round Earth. You should stay on flat Earth. No?
Round Earth is a hell of a ride, dude. Let me tell you.
That's a great T-shirt. Round Earth is a hell of a ride.
That is a great T-shirt. I'm writing that down. That might
Please,
be.
All right, write that one down. I also want to give a huge thank you to PTG Nation, PTG World, the chat room, everybody that's involved with this show, because we are so grateful for every single one of you that tune in and hang out with us. We dedicate the Creator of the Year award to all of you, and I just want to give a big thank you to everybody who's supported us on this journey.
That's a great way to do it. I love that.
And then
Did the Juice give you the idea, or was that Juice free?
No, juice it up. We juicing it up. It's guaranteed.
Juice it up.
Juiced up. And speaking of juicing it up, we're gonna get into the real orange juice. We're gonna pour up some transfuse. We're gonna start digging into this impact story that's going on right now. Shout out to Transfuse. They're restocked. Code play the game if you want to score some. Get yourself some of that amazing juice.
If you guys haven't tried the Transcend, you absolutely have to try the Transcend. Juice. It's their new Tropic. It's the juiciest. And everybody loves some Pineapple Express. Let's be real.
Yep. Transfuse is coming with the heat with these new flavors.
Finally, dude. We waited so long. Finally back. Amazing. Life is back on track. Yeah. But yes, absolutely. We got to dive into the juice box news.
Yeah.
We got to juice it up. Is that right? We got to juice it up.
Yep. Juice it up.
Impact, Nick, dude, what's going on? I heard you guys might have a pretty big pickup.
Yeah. Wait, let me mute you for 1 second. When does this episode come out?
Oh, you're
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Hold on.
Let's see what we got. He's muting. He's moving and shaking.
It's already been released on other networks, so.
Oh, okay. All right, we're back. He didn't answer me, so
yeah, with it. It's public news.
All right, cool. Yeah, so long time player that I've played against many times, and someone I greatly respect, and someone that is a real true freak of nature when it comes to the game of paintball.
No lie.
Axel Godin. All the way from France, it was going to help us out on the snake side. And I've always been really friendly with Axel. He's got a great sense of humor. He also really cares about the game and his performance, and where he fits on a team. And I think it's the perfect sort of level of experience that we sort of demand as a group, with also just the sheer talent. And so having that guy is going to be great. And it's better that I can just tell him I don't understand him a lot when I don't want to talk to him, which will be often. But that's a joke, Axel, if you hear this. But I think that I'm excited about that one. Very excited.
Dude, Axel is a stud. He's such a good player, and I got to be teammates with him when he was first making his way in the pro scene over here in 2012. We played on the Russians together, and since then, I mean, his game has just been a stock, just on an upward trajectory, man. He to the moon. Honestly, he's going to be great for your guys' team. I know we were trying really hard to get him this last season because we ran into a bunch of injuries. We were going to fly him out. I mean, he was on board. Like, our conversations were back and forth. He was in, but we couldn't because of Eclipse. Yeah. Obviously, sponsorship issues. So it was a little bit of a bummer, but ultimately, I mean, things did kind of work out, I guess. But anytime you get Axel on your team, I mean, he's a threat, and he could play both sides too. He's known for playing the snake, but he's just an attacker. He could play the Dorito side really well, and he's going to do really well in the snake. So he definitely he boosts your guys' team a ton. It's a huge pickup.
And we didn't really even consider them until we saw the mini wedges come out, and they're like, there's only one person that can really play that thing at a high level, and so that guy.
What about Malloy?
Mini wedge player, sight unseen.
Yeah.
What about Malloy? Unseen. Malloy can do it too.
Yeah, but I mean, not at a full standing position.
Shout out to
I
Axel
can
one
straighten
time.
his back out and come over
Yeah.
the top on you.
Oh my
Come on
goodness.
now.
Man,
Dude.
he's gonna be nasty for you guys.
Yeah, we got 6'3" problems, you and I, Nick. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Oh yeah.
So obviously we got to address the elephant in the room. You guys have lost quite a few players, and you're moving into the 2022 season. What are you guys doing to make sure that you're going to still be a top 4 team? I know that you've made some huge changes, and how do you feel about everything that's transpired in, the last month or so?
Okay, that's a very complicated answer, so I'll try to touch on all of the points because
Mhm.
there's some positives, some negatives, there's some inner sport, outer sport, inner team, outer team.
Yep,
I'll
I know.
start with probably what people want to hear first
Mhm.
about the inner team. It was definitely something that I was upset with at the time. Not upset in a way of being upset at anybody, but like I thought we were going to have a great year with the current team that we had. And, some of those guys are people that, I talk to on a daily basis. Mouse, Kyle, those are guys that have become true out of paintball friends. And, to lose that is probably where it hurts the most.
Mhm.
But in terms of team specifically, I still think we have a team of killers, and we have this crazy opportunity right now in terms of players. This is me of the first time when I joined Impact, where they lost a bunch of really established, trustworthy players, and brought in some people that hadn't played together, but also had a lot of talent. And I think that we have an opportunity to sort of shed the skin of old Impact and create something new with the guys that we have. We have some guys like Matt Derula, someone that I've played with in the past, but I mean, almost a decade removed at this point. So people change a lot in that time, and we have Zupa, who I have been close through other people with because some of my old 187 friends are familiar with him. And
That's right. Yeah.
after talking to him quite a bit, like I know that we are going to be able to communicate off the field in a way that I know will translate on the field in terms of trust, reliability, expectation, um, support, and doing your jobs to your best ability, that you wouldn't have to question whether that was an issue. So
Mhm.
those two guys, huge pickups, and I think that Axel thrown in the mix there. I've had the chance to become pretty close with a lot of the guys that are the core of Impact now. I mean, JC and Zach have been around for quite a bit, and I mean, I've been to JC's houses, the multiple houses he's lived in over the years, and Zach is a guy that I've had a lot of experience and relationship or different experiences outside of paintball with traveling and whatnot. And Brandon Cornell really coming into his own too. I think he's going to have quite the next few years coming up ahead of him. I'm really excited for Brandon because I think he's going to get the opportunity that he's been working for, and he's been working harder than anyone out there. I don't care who you are. Like if you show up to the field and Brandon hasn't already been there and maybe left, then I don't believe you that you went to the field. So like that guy's ready to have like I think in terms of stock, I'm probably going to buy a Brandon Cornell jersey because I think that thing's going up.
Yeah.
So B,
He's
when
a
you listen to this, sorry to hype you up too much, but I think you can handle it. And
he's a
so
stud.
yeah,
He's a stud
absolutely.
out
He's
there,
the
man.
man.
Yeah, he is.
We have a core that is existing. Like Trevor Reeser, also really guy I've become really
Yeah.
close with. Matt Fuzz Jackson, and we also grabbed Matt's brother for a assistant coaching role.
Ooh,
So
that's new news. I haven't
he's
seen that
bringing.
anywhere.
Yeah, I'm
Breaking.
breaking it down for you.
There we
Nice.
go.
He's going to bring a set of experienced eyes to our team in terms of coaching and figuring out a field that
Yeah.
you can't have too much of that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
to help to spread out Dave's responsibilities, that he can choose which ones he wants to focus on and hand some of them over to Matt, and have a guy that isn't Axel size that you're going to respect because he might be able to beat you up is a good thing. especially for like younger guys coming onto the team. So you need that ability in terms of coaching. You need someone that you respect. And so I think that we have a pretty well-rounded group to do some amazing things.
Don't mess with Axel. I'll be the first one to say
it. Man, that's that's exciting stuff if you're an Impact fan for sure. And to lose that many players like that, it's awesome to see you guys, because you know what Bart has done for the sport, offering a place for paintball athletes to go and get treated like a professional. You don't want to see that go away, right? And so,
absolutely,
you know, I know like originally I was kind of concerned or
me too.
I felt for Bart. I'm like, man, you know, do you feel like, you know, 4 of your, you know, people that you've taken care of are kind of turning their back on you, you're still going to want to do this, right? But it seems like he's still excited, and you guys have definitely propped the team back up to, I mean, you guys are contenders with what you have, you know? So it's good to see. It's good to see the rebound. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be like an opportunity to reinvent ourselves, what our vibe is, what our play style is, and so there is a rebuilding understanding,
sure.
but I think it's going to happen faster than it should in a way. And in terms of the complicated answer of the feeling of those guys leaving, I mean, we talked about money, we talked about paintball patrons and people that pay players to do their craft at a high level. I mean, a big part of also has an appreciation for the opportunity that these guys are getting. And I hope that it's something that doesn't go away fast. I hope it's something that potentially sets a new bar for if another owner wants to come into the sport. Let's say we go big on Sports Center and someone's like, you know what? I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that because that's the goal. Yeah. And you know, we create a better system for the entire league and future players, ideally.
Yeah, the interesting thing about paintball is it has a pretty low entry point in relativity to other pro sports for entry for somebody that would want to get involved and, you know, be a big somebody in a sport, because you can step into paintball at a pretty, you know, when we're talking about pro sports, you know, it's still a lot of money, but way more cost effective than if you're trying to step into NASCAR or, you know, and any of these
one of the high ends.
yeah. Or even
NBA.
Just pick any of them. Yeah.
Good luck buying a NBA franchise. Good luck.
Yeah. Even if you do, like, I'm sure the cornhole is pretty serious. I'm sure it's kind of expensive getting in there. I don't know, you know, there's probably a lot of
cornhole.
Dude, it's on TV everywhere I look. I see it. So I'm sure that 100%. Something's going on. But it's a great opportunity, like you guys said, for us to hopefully, you know, nurture the sport in a different way than it's ever seen before. We've never really seen a shakeup quite like this. It's been one of the craziest off seasons in the history of the game that I've ever seen, hands down.
Yeah, I would have to say that I hope this one goes down in the record books as one of the craziest off seasons. I had a lot of fun watching it. I really did. Like, as a paintball fan, first and foremost, I thought it was really interesting and sort of spectacular, and it built a lot of anticipation for this year and how it's going to work out from just the very first event all the way to World Cup. So like, just the off season built that anticipation, and I'm excited to see how it shakes out. And I hope that other people are just as interested and excited as I feel as a fan.
Totally.
Absolutely.
There's so many stories right now. There's so many different timelines going on.
It's going to be a fun year. God, it's going to be a fun year. I can't wait. All right, man, Nick, we definitely have some questions from the Discord. They always love having you on. It's funny, I'm reading through them. And of course, one of them is kind of in reference to flat Earth.
Should I keep my tinfoil hat on? I haven't taken.
Maybe. But anyway, the first question will be from our man, the Dorfster. He wants to know if you believe that your open-minded ways help you to create on the field. Do you think it translates to thinking outside the box in the game of paintball?
It's a really good question. I think that open-mindedness is a practice, and I'm not open-minded all the time. I think that, like, there is times and subjects where I am, and then times that I'm not. And so being able to realize when those times are and fight that urge to be closed-minded. I think that is what helps on the field. I don't think it's just the ability to be open-minded. I think it's recognizing when you're not being open-minded.
That's profound. Definitely. Love that.
Absolutely.
Steve, SoCal Blaze, he's wondering, Nick, with your extensive design background and work, does any of that creativity help you see the field? You kind of answered that there. And he's also wondering if anything cool you've been designing lately that we may not know about.
I mean, I have been working a bit with Archie and Project within the paintball industry, and I think that those guys have some really, really cool stuff coming out. I think that they are thinking about their brand in the right way in terms of doing things really unique and really cool. And I think that that is something that is going to extend into just about everything that you can think of in terms of paintball related. So, you know, they do some really, really cool guns. They're sending them to get anode all these different ways. And so it's every project gun is pretty different. And, you know, again, that's going to extend into jerseys, into pants, into all sorts of stuff. So I like that there's pro players in the industry that are doing things that, you know, make individuals unique in their own unique way. So I would say them for sure.
Art is so
Awesome.
pivotal, man. We need more art, more creativity out there.
Absolutely. From our man, Alex Harlington, who was your biggest influence when you started your pro journey, and who is it today?
Within paintball?
Didn't clarify, so I guess it can be in or out.
Okay. I would say for both of them, I mean, it would have to be my parents for sure. My dad was a Green Beret and, you know, did a lot of real life shooting. And so I always growing up really enjoyed the shooting because of that. And he also, and my mother too, like find this balance of having these pretty upper level skills at certain things, and also being really, really humble and nice people to everyone that they meet. And, you know, I think that builds more into my current and hopefully future influence, being positive about things and treating people with respect, but also demanding individual respect and not being bowled over. So I would say ultimately probably my biggest influence is for sure them as a team.
Awesome, man.
It's cool because we've actually talked about it before. We have similar like connections in that regard of the military, because my dad was a Ranger, and when I can't remember when we talked about it, I think it was World Cup, we were like, dude, that's crazy. And then my mom's kind of like a juxtaposition of my father, you know, they're like complete opposites. And then it's just crazy how it all works. And paintball, dude, without the parents, thank you to all the parents out there, seriously. And like from the bottom of, I know all of our hearts in the paintball community, thank you to all the parents who continue to work hard for their kids so that they can play this game, because it's not easy, but it doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, and I think any parents that really get involved in paintball, we get the chance to meet a lot of them doing the summer camp and BKI stuff. But if they spend the time to be at the field and watch practices and watch training, they really understand the value right away. Right away. This like sort of structured yet not structured, creative yet rule-based game is a great place, a great sandbox for a kid to grow up. And I agree. I think that the parents that are the original paintball patrons for most people,
Absolutely.
obviously that's not everybody's story, but I think that like those are the people that started out. And I think that the paintball patrons at the highest level in terms of, you know, league owners, team owners, I mean, they generally have the same story as well, but they're on the other end where, you know, it starts with their kids and then they see the value and they want to spread that to more kids. So
absolutely, man. Yep. Shout out to all you out there working hard. We got Chris Tucker He's wondering, being one of the professors at the Combine and running clinics, what are the things you personally take in when teaching or coaching players?
Some of the things I take in, I guess I'll start with this last combine. One of the things that I took away to try to constantly remind myself is, a lot of times we're giving 10, 12, 15 different adjustments and changes, and inevitably one of those things regresses. So paintball is a forever mastery, and that's why it's so addicting, because you'll never be perfect at it. But trying to get as close as you can. Every time you work on something, you also end up letting something else slip a little bit, as long as it doesn't slip to where you lose it completely. But I think that being accepting that some of those things will slip if you're working on something else, and allowing the process to take you all the way through. And I think just being more forgiving in terms of losing some things at some times, and while you're working on something else, and then letting that catch up later.
Awesome, dude, man. I think that's it for me for Discord questions, but I do personally have just one last question that I wanted to ask you.
Awesome.
And it's what your personal goals or expectations are for yourself this year as a player for Edmonton Impact.
That's a really good question. I think this year I'm probably going to do a little bit more of focusing on my own impact on the game. Within every point, within every game, I have the position of a role player, but I don't always have to be a role player, and I'm definitely going to. I understand the role player point to the point where it's now in my being.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to use my time to grow past that a bit. And so I will be focusing on, being more of a threat at certain times, and going back into my number of 37 and the golden ratio, trying to understand what the ratio needs to be a threat and to be a good teammate, and what times are the right times to do each one. So that's my focus this year.
Awesome,
yeah, man. Attack it. And we do have the iconic question from Quinn. He is wondering, Nick, with all of the roster changes this season, after multiple years with the same core roster, do you think that the team's chemistry will be a concern coming into 2022? You kind of hit on that already, that you guys have some background, but that was his question there.
I can definitely elaborate on that. I think that we are going to have a really good chemistry. Actually, no, we are. I've talked to all those guys. We are, as a group, pretty well on the same page of how we want to communicate with each other, what our overall goals are, and that we make it very clear that we want to be part of helping each other achieve those things. And paintball chemistry is probably one of the most complex yet important things in the professional league, in the high teams. I think team chemistry is one of those things that is unfortunate when it doesn't work out, but it also, when you find the right thing, you can really do a lot with it. So I think our chemistry is going to be really good. Honestly, I think we've got the right group to do it.
Chemistry is huge. It's huge. It's huge in any sport, but especially paintball. Makes a big difference, Yeah,
you're in the foxhole every breakout. Like if you need to look over at your buddy to make sure that they're doing their job, then you only have to do yours. So it
Totally.
really is a domino effect. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
That's right.
Ty, you got one more?
One last one from CM Harry. He's just wondering, are you going to have any businesses involved with paintball that we can look out for in the future? Any hot stuff that you got cooking up?
Yeah, I might.
There we go.
I have,
that's perfect. That's
that
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to say anything you don't want to. It's just
Well,
exciting.
I'll be honest. The reason why I don't want to say it is because I want to do it. And
of course.
I don't want to put it out there and feel like I did some of it. I know that's part of saying your plans. So, if I do it and I and I actually go through the steps of doing it, then you'll see it. But if I
That's
don't,
it.
then you won't see it.
Won't see it.
Perfect.
Love that, dude. Well, Nick, anything that you do for the game is crucial for the game, especially these days, man. I love seeing all the stuff that you've been preparing. I'm excited to get back to work with you. I know we were talking about some of those clinics. You got a lot of really great ideas, dude. So thankful for you. The game is lucky to have you. And
It's
PTG.
100% mutual. 100%. I think you guys are on the exact same. Whatever you can fill that with words, it's right back at you. And I really look forward to seeing if we can do this, because that's another thing coming up that might be really interesting to people. So be tuned into Marcelo and Tyler's podcast, because I'm sure it'll come out on here first.
Dude,
Awesome,
we love you. Alumni for life. Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah,
need
guys.
a hoodie with no hood.
Yeah.
With the Harvard logo.
Dude, we got you. Incoming. It's coming. We're dropping that.
I like that.
And then just so everybody knows, me and my kid, we're hunting down Pokemon. If you have any Pokemon cards, hit me up, because I'm trying to get some. And young Theo, we've been on a tear. And I told him I'm going to be looking for you. So I got to drop the news in here too.
Oh, that's tight.
My mom
I
gave
bet you
away
get
all
hit
my
up.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, man. He loves them. Him and Max, 6 and 4. They're, living it up, being young little monsters and having fun. And I just want to help them any way I can. So I figured I'd drop that in here.
Beautiful. Give them in some Pokemon cards.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
Alrighty, boys. Good luck finding that Charizard.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no way.
See you guys.
Peace.
Have a good night. Peace.
Peace.
All right.
All right, PTG fam. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, if you'd like to support the show, you can head over to ptgpaintball.com. Click the Patreon link and get access to our Discord. The Discord is the coolest place to be in paintball right now. The best community. Shout out to all the GOATs, teammates, icons, all of the above. So fantastic. And we hope to see you in there.